And if you were a dancer or an aspiring dancer at this time, this is a movie that you rallied around. This is a movie that spoke to you.
Absolutely.
You know, maybe not as much as, say, movies such as like Fame at the time, but it still did speak to you. It spoke to, you know,
follow your dreams.
What you could do.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
And it is really about, at the end of the day, it's a Rocky story. You know, she's a little trepidatious about trying out to become a ballerina. Is she going to go for it?
Of course.
Of course she is. Is she going to make it?
Of course.
Of course she is.
YUNKJunk!
Welcome to the Micheaux Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I'm joined as always by my partner.
Hey, holla at your boy. This is Len, a.k.a. the Bat Tribble.
And here in the second week of Black History Month, as we continue to examine the parameters of what does and does not make a black film, we had to improvise and pivot very quickly. And we won't be doing A White Man's Burden and asking about that film, but we will be asking if a film that stars a biracial, racially ambiguously presenting actress in a role that is not necessarily black coded, a black film. So we really are going about kind of examining the parameters. Like I feel like at the end of the night when you go around the house and check that everything is locked up and closed up, I feel like that's what we're doing this month. Like we're walking around the Micheaux Citadel.
Okay.
And seeing exactly where the markers are for you know what is our territory.
You're right. We're actually like claiming the territory.
Right. We're here. This, that.
This is a black film.
This is a black film, or this is, you know, everywhere the sun touches is a black film.
You want to tell them what the movie is?
Oh, that film would of course be Flashdance. 1983's Flashdance with Jennifer Beals.
And Michael Nouri.
And Michael, well, certainly we can't forget Michael Nouri.
We cannot.
But before we get to all of that, how are you, Len?
I'm doing very well, Vincent. How about yourself?
I'm good. We got a bit of weather here in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Kind of came and went.
It came and went, you know, some places we got a little bit of snow, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It stuck some places. Some places kind of like...
It did.
You know, it's gone around my house.
Yeah.
But I understand it's still very much around yours.
It's still around my way if you didn't shovel.
Oh.
So you know, got out there and shoveled, did the thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your son's not old enough to get out there with a shovel yet.
Not yet. But he's
getting there, right?
Right.
Have you introduced him to the shovel?
I have. You know, today was a school day, so he didn't come out. But last time we had snow, he was out with the shovel, kind of getting more in the way than not. But he was out there with it.
Oh, that's right.
Right. So
that is. Oh, those days when shoveling snow was fun.
Yeah.
One of my favorite pictures of my daughter, Olivia, is one of those winters when we got like about 20 something inches and I'm outside shoveling and she is on the lawn and the snow is up to her chest, right? And God bless her, she's out there with a shovel and she's just can't make. She's putting more snow around her than moving it out of the way.
That's right.
But she's
look. God knows her heart.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to each and every one of you who are watching us as we are streaming live from YUNKJunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace right here in Manayunk. And stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, because later in the show, we've got some big news coming to you from our good friends here at YUNKJunk. We are streaming to all of our friends out there in YouTube and Facebook, and who's sitting there in the chat. Robert Monroe Jr., Farrell Blackwell, Deborah Battle, Ashy Feet, each and every one of you out there in the chat. Hello, missionaries.
Good evening, one and all.
All right. As you mentioned, Vincent, we are going to be reviewing Flashdance tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
What a feeling.
What a feeling indeed. And that promises to be like a really big conversation, believe it or not. I didn't think that pivoting from white man's burden like we had to at the last minute would, I thought maybe like,
Sure.
The show might be a little uneven. Nope. Oh boy. This may be more fun. Because little do you know, Vincent has been reviewing this movie for the last hour. Just a show for me and Dylan.
This was a movie.
This was a movie.
This was a movie.
This was a movie.
And right now, in real time, people listening with us in the live broadcast, and after this live broadcast, when people are listening to it on the podcast, and people are saying, I didn't think so. Right now, if you're listening to my voice, I want you to think about the last time you actually watched Flashdance.
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is, it has not been recently.
It hasn't.
So
it has not.
You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see. As a matter of fact, here's an experiment.
Okay.
If you're watching us as we are streaming live, sit back, enjoy the show. But if you're listening to the podcast or watching this later on YouTube, then do yourself a favor. Pause.
Yes.
Go watch Flashdance.
Go watch Flashdance.
Then come back
back
with fresh eyes.
Yes.
Because the fresher your eyes,
the
more you will enjoy.
What a feeling.
The feeling that it's about to happen. But first, we hear from you, ladies and gentlemen, and your emails that we like to call Missives from the Missionaries.
So what else is going on, Len?
We have emails, Vincent.
Ooh, Missives from the Missionaries. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, Missives from the Missionaries.
Email number 1, Vincent.
Yes.
Comes from our good friend across the pond, Dexter Jones.
Hey, what's up, Dexter?
Long time no hear from. Greetings again, fellas. My missives are usually very few and far between, but nonetheless, I'm still tuning in every week to hear your guys' reviews.
Excellent. Good.
The reason I write you today, though, is regarding a missive from last week from Calvin.
Okay.
Where he asked a question about Black films that are universally panned by the Black community.
Okay.
And he mentioned Soul Plane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Though I think stomping on that movie was definitely a fun thing to do once upon a time, I do get the feeling that there are a pocket of Black folk who unironically laugh at Soul Plane today, or at the very least, appreciate it for the silly movie that it is. I personally don't know any of these people, nor have I seen the movie, but I do think I've heard some sort of favorable discussion around Soul Plane in the more recent past.
Sure. Dexter his hypothesis is that these fans are kind of like the colossal squid. Like, the colossal squid. I don't think there's any actual film evidence that it exists.
Right.
But they've seen sperm whales with like wounds that, they extrapolate just because the suckers.
Yeah.
They assume that the squid that left the wound is big enough that it's a colossal squid. So they assume it's down there somewhere.
Right.
We just have never actually seen it. That is what Dexter is saying about the Soul Plane fan. They live in the bottom of the ocean and they fight with sperm whales.
He continues. Calvin's question, however, did immediately make one film come to mind, and I thought that maybe I should toss its name in the hat for you to discuss. A Black film, and I put Black in quotations only to underline how much we all have collectively rebuked this film
Oh, no.
that is universally panned by the Black community
Okay.
is a 2016 film starring Zoe Saldana as Nina Simone in Nina. To characterize this movie as a letdown would be an overstatement because from the moment it was even announced that Zoe Saldana was playing Nina Simone, none of us wanted any parts of the film. I like Zoe Saldana as much as the next guy, but that casting decision pretty much told us everything we needed to know about what we could expect from that movie. Unlike Soul Plane, I did actually see Nina from the comfort of my own home.
Okay.
For no other reason than I'm a huge Nina Simone fan, and I felt I needed to see just how bad it was in all its audacity with my own eyes. Today, I honestly can't remember a single thing good or bad about that film aside from the notoriously bad and tactless makeup. Perhaps it was shot well. Anyway, what say you? Have you guys even seen Nina? Do you know anyone who likes it? Do you know anyone who's seen it besides me who tells you that I've seen it, but you didn't see me see it? So how do you know I actually saw it? Always listening, Dex R. Jones.
I was about to say, he's the only person I know that is seen. Here's how much I didn't think anyone had seen it. Until this exact second, I wasn't sure
It ever came out.
they actually released it.
Yeah. I only know that it came out because I remember looking on some platform and seeing the tile, like, the tile for the movie.
Okay.
But I've never actually seen the movie.
No.
And I could not even be like, I think I saw the tile and was like, it just kept it moving.
Well, I think everyone saw the picture of her in the makeup.
Yeah.
And like everyone is thinking about that. It wasn't even footage.
No,
it was just that one shot of her in, like, I guess we shouldn't call it blackface. I mean, I guess, black people wear blackface.
Black people wear blackface.
Sure. They were wearing blackface
in the Oscar Micheaux movies.
And in,
what, Bamboozled?
Bamboozled.
Yeah.
And the nose prosthetic and...
well, I mean, the nose prosthetic, I mean...
It was terrible.
It was terrible. I mean, I'm not going to knock the nose because...
It was terrible.
But,
I'm knocking the nose.
Well,
I'm knocking...
Well, I don't remember what the nose looked like, but I'm not knocking putting on a nose prosthetic.
Oh.
Is that what you're saying?
Ooh.
I mean, there's some people...
Oh, maybe... No, baby, don't do that. Let somebody else play the role. Like if there has to be a nose involved, maybe we need to recalculate or maybe circle back around and do something else.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so
all right. Well, no, I haven't seen it. I'm seeing in the chat George Carmona says that this sounds like a candidate for May. I mean, if there ever was one.
I mean, we can put it on the list. There's stuff ahead of it.
Well,
there you go. Put it.
Don't dare me.
Look.
Don't dare me, Vince.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm telling you. All right. Well, thank you, Dexter.
Thank you.
Good to hear from you, buddy.
Good to hear from you. Glad you're doing well.
We got another email. This one's from Michael Sykes.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
Hello, Len and Vincent. I noticed that this year in February, your theme is it a black film?
Mm-hmm.
Great theme, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I have some movie suggestions of what you might consider is a black film. How about these? We're going to run through them real quick. Any Given Sunday.
That's a good one.
The football movie.
Yeah, it's ensemble. But Jamie Foxx is arguably with Al Pacino.
The co-leads.
Right, like Jamie Foxx, Al Pacino. What's the old white quarterback? What's that actor?
Ooh,
of course, he doesn't really have a whole...
Yeah, he's not... It
really is Pacino and Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, I want to say it's Dennis Quaid.
It might be Dennis Quaid. I think it's Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, but it's more Pacino and Jamie Foxx, and then LL as a co-star.
Yeah, and then it has so much history and mythology that goes along with.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Mississippi Burning, which I actually was just streaming on.
That's
on
another
TCM
good one. That's another good one.
Yeah, that is another good one.
It's actually, we could talk about that the last week when we did the Blues Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but for those who don't know, Mississippi Burning stars is Gene Hackman and
not Kevin Bacon.
Not Kevin Bacon. I just lost his name. Green Goblin. Willem Dafoe. Okay.
Willem Dafoe.
As FBI agents.
Yeah.
In the like late 50s, 60s.
No, maybe the 70s. Because I guess
70s? late 60s.
Late 60s. Because they're investigating the murder of Medgar Evers,
right.
I think. Or is it of the three activists that were murdered?
It may have been
full disclosure. I've never actually seen Mississippi Burning,
and I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theaters. But I think it is the three activists.
And are they investigating right after the murder, or is it a few years later?
That I don't remember.
That's why I was thinking maybe it's the early 70s.
That's why I don't remember.
Right.
I remember it being a very polarizing movie.
Absolutely.
But an effective movie.
Well,
well done.
So, but that's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's a good one.
Stir Crazy.
I mean, any of those Gene Hackman, Richard Pryor movies, I'm always going to lean towards Richard Pryor.
Yeah, see, Stir Crazy, I think.
Not Gene Hackman, Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
Stir Crazy, I think, fits the bill because they are decidedly partners in that.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I think actually you could actually have the argument is
Silver Streak?
Silver Streak.
Yeah.
Because
they're not actually.
Yeah, because Richard Pryor doesn't enter until later in the film. And then he references your movie.
What's my movie?
Lethal Weapon.
Look, that's actually almost the reverse of Stir Crazy. Because I feel like Richard Pryor is first among the equals in Stir Crazy, whereas in Lethal Weapon, it very much is Mel Gibson has more of the narrative thrust than Danny Glover.
Yeah. I agree.
Those are good ones.
Those good ones. We got another email. This is from Michael Lockett.
Hey, Michael.
King of Blades. Brothers.
Okay.
First, thank you for your Blackula information. I was on it with the quickness.
Nice.
I did another twofer, and as luck has it, they aligned. I listened to and happily rewatched Blade.
Nice. Always a good time.
To me, it is the most underrated and forgotten superhero film around. What say you two? I hear more people talk about Watchmen or even the 1960s Batman with the shark repellent than I do Blade. Like you, I can't really find a downside to this movie. The subsequent ones, yes, but this joint was bumping. This film, in my opinion, pushed Wesley Snipes over the top on the fame meter. I also listened to and rewatched King of New York, which we just reviewed last week.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly that this is not a black film. I think if the film had explicitly had Wesley as the lead protagonist and Walken as the antagonist, explicitly trying to undo the ills he brought to the black community by doing everything in his power to be a warrior and an ally for the black diaspora, then maybe there would be a debate. As it is now, however, nah. Keep marching, Michael Lockett.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Well, I agree, Michael. And if it was all of those things, it would have been a different movie.
Exactly.
Entirely different.
Yeah.
Blade is a movie that does still get slept on, I think. And it's a shame.
And it ages so
well, doesn't it?
It really does.
It really does.
Yeah.
It holds up. And our last email, this is from Bruce Woods.
Hey, what's up, Bruce?
I just wanted to raise my hand.
Okay.
As someone whom actually watches King of New York on the regular.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
I understand your takes on the matter, but two questions come to mind. Do you actually feel that New Jack City was a more accurate or real statement on the culture or the life? Because in his opinion, Bruce's opinion, New Jack City was a cartoon. And upon listening to every criticism you now see with the film, if the film attempted to project all that would have fulfilled you, wouldn't you think the film would have been a 4-hour snooze fest or needed to be an 8-episode series? Personally, I think that Abe Ferrara, the director's presentation of a spare, condensed look into that world was a brilliant and recognizable take on that era. We don't need to go in depth. The film shows all you need to know. I don't care about the characters, but even today, I ride with Frank White and his crew. The small elements displayed by the cast were enough for a film that was essentially a short. Oh, and cast my vote as definitely being a black film. Maybe I'm still pissed about being conned into watching Truck Turner. Anyway, keep up the great work.
Oh, my goodness.
Bruce Woods.
Oh, Bruce, we will take no Truck Turner slander.
No.
Here on the show.
No, and not when you throwing all these huzzahs there, King of New York.
I was riding with you, and I was about to say, we all have different views and visions and opinions, but we will have no Truck Turner slander.
No. Well, let me ask you his first question.
Okay.
Do you actually feel that New Jack City was a more accurate or real statement on the culture or the life?
No. I don't think it was accurate. Yeah, no, yeah, it's not about accuracy.
No, I think they both, deal with hyperbole,
right,
in regards to in regards to that culture.
Yeah,
that drug dealer culture. And
I think you said New Jack City had like a cartoon element. I wouldn't say it's a cartoon, but it absolutely is heightened.
It is heightened. It is heightened. I think the difference is that New Jack City tries to play it fair on both sides.
Right.
That they try to show some development of the character of the protagonist as well as the antagonist.
Right. And Wesley Snipes is just a Goliath in the film. Like, no one is really going to match Wesley Snipes in New Jack City. And, unfortunately, even if Denzel Washington played one of the police, I think just the way it was written, Nino Brown would have eclipsed everyone. And, none of the actors who portrayed policemen were Denzel Washington level of actor.
Well, no,
So,
none of them were. I don't know though. I want to think that Denzel in the Ice-T role, which is probably meant to be the main protagonist, maybe gets that over a little bit more.
Dude, look.
But who cares?
The scene, the scene that has been spoofed, and the most iconic scene from the film, where the crack houses get invaded, and then Nino has the meeting, and everybody's in black. There's nothing that matches that on the side of the police in that film.
No, it's a different.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the material.
No, okay, I hear you. But yeah, I again, like you said, it's not accuracy, but I just think the New Jack City plays more fairer.
Sure.
King of New York. I mean, Christopher Walken is Christopher Walken, but there's so many black bodies just blown away in that movie that it really became distracting to me.
That bothered you?
Well, because none of them, I feel, are given any type of development at all.
Sure.
Except maybe Larry Fishburne.
But again, no one is given any development.
No one. No one. Because as much as he's riding for Frank White's not really given that much development.
He's just really cool.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But thank you, Bruce.
But Bruce,
Watch all that truck Turner talk, though.
Yeah, Bruce. Check yourself, bro. We got another, 2 more emails. I'm sorry. I said that was last one. We got 2 more. Travis Edwards hit us up.
Hey, what's up, Travis?
From St. Paul, Minnesota. Thank you, Travis. I like when people tell us where they're
folks, tell us where you are.
Hello, Len and Vince. The Micheaux Mission is my favorite podcast. As a stay-at-home father, you guys helped me get through the long days of caring for a toddler. I joined the mission late. I first listened in early 2023 and have been going back to listen to all the episodes. Today, I listened to the Jungle Fever review featuring Tommy Davidson, which was great. But I again heard Vince say he puts up Spike Lee's first 5 films against anyone.
I do.
Well, I think someone who will soon be able to battle Spike Lee in that regard is Ryan Coogler. His first 4 films are Fruitvale Station, Creed, and Black Panther 1 and 2. Need I say more? Love to hear your thoughts. Much love, Travis from St. Paul, Minnesota.
I mean, they're good. I will say this about Creed. I really like Creed, but I have to admit, part of the reason I like Creed so much is that he actually pulled it off.
Okay.
Like, there's nothing about Creed that seems like it should have worked at all. And yet it does.
Here, I'm going to give you another director who may be in the running.
Okay.
Barry Jenkins.
Barry Jenkins is
I'm looking at his filmography
he's right
now.
there. I mean, you ain't got to look at it. We know it's Medicine for Melancholy. It's Moonlight. If Beale Street Could Talk. Wait, has he had a 4th movie?
That's the thing. He did another movie in 2009 called Tall Enough that is not even listed on Wikipedia. So I don't know how much you want to count that. It sounds like it was probably. It sounds like it may have been an independent.
Never even heard of this.
His next directorial film, because he's been producing a lot of films, because he was a producer on all Dirt Road's Taste of Salt, which I told you was a great movie.
Sure.
His next film that he's directing comes out this year, and that's Mufasa the Lion King.
Yeah, see.
You haven't seen it?
I have not seen it, but you know how I feel about these Disney live action
computer animated
money grabs.
I hear you, but it is Barry Jenkins.
Look, and not 5 minutes ago, I said Creed is a film that should not have worked, and somehow it worked. So,
and you say like these Disney money grabs should not have worked, like Lion King?
Oh, I've actually never seen one of these Disney things that worked for me.
Oh, when you didn't enjoy the
talk about the Jungle Book. Like, I know you're a Jungle Book dude.
I love the Jungle Book.
I know. I still haven't seen it, so I can't speak on it. So, but
okay, so all right.
Look, all I said. Right. I mean, look, it's a couple of directors who are coming around. I mean, Barbie girl.
Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig was, because Barbie's what, her 3rd or 4th film?
Yeah, probably about that.
Yeah, and she's doing the work.
Yeah. I just want to look her up just to give her a proper, since we brought her up.
You know, Jordan Peele is 3 for 3.
Greta Gerwig, her credits are as director, Nights and Weekends, Lady Bird, Little Woman, Barbie.
Lady Bird and Little Women. Good. I actually didn't see her first movie.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
And I haven't seen Barbie, but I'm just saying these, look, I'm always up for the fight.
Yeah.
God bless them.
All right. And we've got one more email. This is from Ellis Heron.
Hey, what's up, Ellis?
The King of Sting, Action Jackson. That is the subject line. Hey, fellas, I was happy to hear the time you took out to talk about Carl Weathers' passing.
Yeah.
It's been crazy to see how many tributes and videos are online honoring him. I always been a big fan of the Rocky series, so it was touching to see Sylvester Stallone get emotional during his video for Carl.
Yeah.
The cherry on top was seeing the Super Bowl commercial Carl was involved in thanking him. Your review of King of New York is yet another that has me even more curious to check it out. I feel a little guilty for still not seeing it yet, especially with its presence in pop culture. However, I do at least know that it's fascinating that every Black actor of significance in the movie has worked with Spike Lee at one time or another. I'm looking forward to your review of another movie I haven't yet seen, White Man's Burden. A funny thing happened on the way to White Man's Burden, Ellis. From what I've heard, this ought to be a hoot. Yeah, we were anticipating it would be a hoot as well. Funny how that happened. Your boy Ellis Heron from Fort Worth, Texas. P.S. has a couple of comic book geek questions.
All right.
You know you like this, Vincent.
Hey.
Did you see the teaser trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine? And what do you think about Marvel Studios putting all their chips in on this movie, with it being the only one they'll release in 2024?
I mean, I saw the trailer. It was just fun.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about the Deadpool?
I like Deadpool.
Yeah, I like him.
I like the first one. I like the second one.
Yeah.
It's the movie that got Leslie Uggam some more money, so I'm all about that.
Look, all about that.
Marina Baccarat. There for her.
I don't even know who that is.
That's who plays his girlfriend in the movie.
Okay.
And I like the movies, and I like the trailer. You know, he having fun with the whole Disney thing. There's a 20th Century Fox, logo that's like shattered in the background of it. So it looked cool.
You don't see it in the theater?
Yeah, I probably will.
Probably will. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go see it. Then probably. Yeah. You're not going to see it in the theater?
No. I am. I would. I think that's always a question for these films.
Yeah.
Like, is this a? Yeah.
I'll see it in the theater.
I mean, I like to see the Marvel stuff in the theater.
They usually reward. So.
Yeah.
And as far as them putting all their chips in like, I think some of that was COVID related, because a lot of things got pushed back.
Sure.
And I think it's smart to maybe just dial things down a little bit, especially because Marvel doesn't have any control over Sony putting out 3 movies in their quote unquote Spider-Man universe this year, starting with Madam Web, which comes out
Is it 3? Because I know it's Madam Web. I think Craven, and then Venom 3 comes out at the end of the year. 3 comes out. Okay.
Yeah. So Marvel's kind of smart to just let Deadpool come out there, do his thing, and let these other Marvelettes, crash and burn.
Yeah, or like you said, and I don't want to get too far, but I really do think this Jonathan Majors thing caught them
flat-footed,
right?
A little bit,
completely off guard.
Yeah.
So,
there's that too, most certainly.
That's a thing.
And it's definitely so. It gives them a little time to kind of like course correct if they need to.
And the thing about this is now that everything is streaming, and it's already happened. Like, I think it's been streaming now as we record this a little over a week, talking about these young directors that I love so much. Lo and behold, shocking news. I'm glad everyone is sitting down. Marvel's is gaining fans who actually watched the movie.
Oh, really? I haven't even. I haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, there's a little buzz.
It's streaming now.
Yeah, it's streaming on
Disney Plus.
On Disney Plus, and it's already. Oh, this is actually good. It's like, yeah, right.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. From what I understand, though, from the buzz that I was hearing, was that it was an okay movie, but it was a movie that people more or less were kind of like waiting for it to stream, wanted to watch it from home. They didn't want to pay the money in the theater.
Well, and I also, I think there was a lot of that kind of nerd bile that kind of changed the narrative. of how well it was doing, how good it was going to be, this, that, and the other. You know, obviously because of the strike, they couldn't promote it and the publicity. But
because you saw it in the theater,
I did,
and you enjoyed it.
Hey man, look, man. I think like me and you talked about it. Once you get past like the 3 Captain America movies, the first Avengers,
Black
Panther, the first Iron Man, the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. None of them, they're fine.
Yeah, they're all
just kind of fine.
Yeah.
Like you go, they all kind of are connected. Like you go because they're all connected. But as far as the ones, and even the Captain America, really it's the first one and Winter Soldier. Because the third one is just an Avengers movie.
Really? True.
Right. True. But as far as this is a movie that stands on its own, it's like 5 or 6 of them. But the rest of them are just like, look, you like this stuff.
There's the issue of the comic book that you got to get through to get to Infinity War and Endgame.
Right, so this kind of the Marvels, like the Marvels was fine. It was just as good as everything else.
It was just as good as Shang-Chi.
It was
from what I hear.
Actually, Shang-Chi was all right, but
I enjoy Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi's actually kind of good. I should have thrown Shang-Chi in there. I think Shang-Chi can stand on its own.
It stands on its own, but I don't think it was like super stellar.
I think Shang-Chi was as good as like Ant-Man.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, it was as good as Ant-Man.
Yeah, you know.
And people hated on Quantumania, the Ant-Man movie, the last Ant-Man movie.
It was fine.
I liked it.
It was fine.
It was fun enough.
They're fine. They're fine. I know. Well, you know. You know, I have a love-hate relationship with nerds.
Of which you are one.
Yeah, well, that's how come I can speak on it, because I know these. Like, I know them. But
I'm a tribble. All right. That has been our emails, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep this train moving, and it is now time, Dylan, for the top 5.
Top 5. Who's your top 5?
Top 5.
Top 5, ladies and gentlemen, where I give Vincent a list and he gives us his scintillating conversation on it, keeping this not at all in theme with the movie that we're reviewing, because this is in theme with the movie that we were to review.
Oh.
Which was supposed to be White Man's Burden.
Was supposed to be White Man's Burden.
Which is not based on a Rudyard Kipling poem, the poem.
Right. The Rudyard Kipling poem, White Man's Burden.
Is it Rudyard? I never knew how to
I think it's Rudyard.
Rudyard? Okay.
I'm going to say Rudyard.
All right.
What's he going to do? He's dead. In your face, Rudyard Kipling. In your face. Ricky Tikki Tavi that.
So the movie White Man's Burden is not based on Rudyard Kipling's poem, but it adapts the name.
Yes.
From that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and Rudyard Kipling.
You say Kipling.
Kipling.
Leave the man's first name alone. Like you keep saying Rudyard. Just say Kipling.
Kipling was a noted writer, essayist.
I thought you were going to say a noted racist.
Well,
that's so dang. Ooh, Len, you're going pretty hard there. What's he going to do, though? Because he's dead. In your face, Rudyard Kipling. In your face. Jungle Book that.
You tell me whether or not he was perhaps racist, because what I have here are the top 5 Kipling Forget Me Pleases. These are 5 films that were adapted from Kipling's stories.
Okay.
That may be a little problematic.
Okay.
All right. Starting with number 5.
Uh-huh.
And I think I put these in order. I put these in chronological order.
Okay.
Starting with number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Wee Willie Wee Willie Winkle.
Wee Willie
Can't even
Winkle.
get it out.
Wee Willie Winkle by
From-
Rudyard Kipling.
1937 American adventure drama directed by John Ford, starring Shirley Temple,
Okay.
Victor McLaughlin, and Cesar Romero.
Okay.
The screenplay, based on a story by Kipling.
Mhm.
Priscilla Williams, young Shirley Temple, plays
Okay.
is a young girl living with her widowed mother and paternal grandfather at a post he commands in northern India.
That sounds right.
Yeah, keep India in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Who becomes enamored of military life and embroiled in the brewing rebellion against the crown in the early 1900s.
Okay.
Soon Priscilla, nicknamed Wee Willie Winkle, wins the hearts of all the soldiers, especially her grandfather, and even Kuda Khan, who is the oh my God, it is the mercenary fighting against the British troops
Sure.
here in India. Well, mercenary in their words.
Mm-hmm.
Priscilla decides to persuade Kuda Khan to stop fighting when Muhammad Dean, a soldier who is actually Khan's spy, smuggles her out of the base and takes her to the rebel mountain fortress.
Oh.
Khan is greatly pleased. He thinks that the colonel will bring his eternal regiment in a hopeless attempt to rescue her. But the British troops arrive, demanding that Khan surrender Priscilla. His men prepare for battle, and he orders that Dean be thrown over the wall. The colonel halts his forces out of range and walks alone to the entrance. A few of Khan's men start shooting at Williams, and Priscilla, young Shirley Temple, rushes to her grandfather's side amidst the hail of bullets. And impressed by her courage and overcome with empathy for the child, the mercenary Khan orders his men to stop firing and agrees to negotiate and ends the war. And thus, a young white girl will save them.
We'll save them. We'll save them all. Is there a song involved?
There's no, well, not that I know
Dancing,
of. I don't know that she dances in this film.
Bilbo Jangles Robinson played
He
one of
is
the
not-
Indian soldiers.
No, Cesar Romero played one of
Cesar
them.
Romero
He
did,
played, he played Kuda Khan,
Plays, of course.
of course.
Does he
He's-
dance?
He does not dance.
I do.
No, he does dance. He does do a little dance with Wee Willie Winkle,
Boom. There it is.
Shirley Temple.
There it is.
And there you have it.
Mm-hmm.
That was adapted from a Kipling story.
I'm glad we don't have nothing to do with that. We got enough on our plate.
Number 4,
Number 4,
Gunga Din
Gunga Din.
from 1939, an
Oh, yeah.
American adventure film.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Directed by George Stevens, starring Victor McLaughlin, again, Douglas Fairbanks Jr., and one Cary Grant.
Yeah.
Loosely based on the 1890 poem of the same name by Kipling that combines elements of his 1888 short story collection, Soldiers 3. The film is about 3 British sergeants and Gunga Din, their native water bearer, Indian,
Yes.
who fight the Thuggee, an Indian murder cult
Sure. We learned about that from Raise the Lost Ark.
in colonial British India. In 1999, Gunga Din was deemed culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant by the United States Library of Congress and selected for preservation by the National Film Registry. However, writer-playwright Bertolt Brecht discussed the film in his short essay, saying, I felt like applauding and laughed in all the right places, despite the fact that I knew all the time that there was something wrong, that the Indians are not primitive and uncultured people, but have a magnificent age-old culture, and that this Gunga Din could actually be seen in a different light, such as a traitor to his people.
Mm-hmm.
It obviously, artistic and appreciation of this sort is not without effects. It weakens the good instincts and strengthens the bad. It contradicts true experience and spreads misconceptions. In short, it perverts our picture of the world. That's what he has to say of Gunga Din.
I wonder how he feels about the way Africa is depicted in films. I'm just wondering.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Gunga Din?
I have seen Gunga Din. It is a film that does not wear well. Gunga Din, the title character, played by Ukrainian actor Sam Jaffe.
Look at you. Did you know that off the top of your head?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at you.
He's more popularly known. He's most famously known as like one of the leads in Asphalt Jungle, one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
But it is a movie where he is in fact the water bearer.
Yeah.
The movie is named after him.
Yeah.
He is maybe in 20 minutes of the movie.
I was just about to say, he doesn't even have to be in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He doesn't have to be in the movie. And he shows up in the beginning of the movie. He's pretty much comic fodder in the movie. In a movie that is pretty much a comedy, a comic romp. And then shows up at the end just because he wants to, of course, rescue a white guy.
Sure.
Against his own people, which is why he said it could be seen as
absolutely.
He's a traitor.
Yeah.
And this is Kipling. This is the world in which Kipling stories
100%
traffic in the colonial British occupation of India.
100%. Yes.
Continuing on. Number three. This is a movie from 1950 called Kim.
Yeah.
A 1950 adventure film based on the classic 1901 novel of the same name by Kipling that stars Errol Flynn, Paul Lucas, and a young Dean Stockwell. The film is set within the Great Game, a political and diplomatic confrontation between the British Empire and the Russian Empire. In the film, an orphan boy, played by Dean Stockwell, is trained as a spy by agents of the British Raj and tasked with maintaining surveillance of two Russian spies. Although the movie was financially successful, the 40-year-old Errol Flynn was widely considered too old for his character, as well as miscast as an Indian.
Yes. I've seen this film. I've not seen this film in probably 20 years, but I remember liking it a little bit. Like it moved.
Yeah, I mean, you do.
It moves.
But you definitely have to take your hat off and realize what you're watching. You're watching
absolutely.
Errol Flynn and brown face.
Absolutely.
In this movie. I have not seen that film.
Yeah.
I've heard of it, not in any quick rush to see it. Number 2, Soldiers 3.
Okay.
1951 adventure film based upon an element of short stories by Kipling that stars Stuart Granger, Robert Newton, and Cyril Cusack. Directed by Tay Garnett. Retired British General Brunswick reminisces about the days when he was a colonel in charge of a British Army battalion fighting against native Indian rebels in colonial India during the late 1800s. Did Kipling write about anything else besides?
That was his big thing. And then even something like The Jungle Book and Rikki Tikki Tavi have these sort of subtext.
Right, because he did Jungle Book. That's right. Yeah, yeah. All right, and number 1, and this one hurts my heart.
Okay.
And this is Sergeants 3.
Yeah.
From 1962, a comedy western directed by John Sturges that stars the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Peter Lawford, Joey Bishop, and Sammy Davis Jr.
Wait a second. What is the one? I did not know all of them were in it.
All of them are in this.
What am I thinking about the one where it's just Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin?
Are you sure you're not thinking about the one that we review with it Sammy Davis Jr. and Peter Lawford?
No, why did I think Soldiers 3 was just Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin?
This is all of them. This is all of them. From a matter of fact, because this is the last one where all of them are together. Because it's 1962, and 1962 is where Frank Sinatra and Peter Lawford had the falling out
over Kennedy.
because Kennedy doesn't show up at Frank
Interesting.
Sinatra's home.
Because all of them aren't in Robin and the Seven Hoods.
No, they're not.
So it's Ocean's 11.
They're all in Ocean's 11.
And you're saying this one.
And this one. I think this is actually the only other one that they're all in.
I am learning something right now. I swore I've seen Soldiers 3, but please continue.
Soldiers 3, which is basically an adaptation of, Sergeants 3,
Right.
which is basically an adaptation of Soldiers 3,
Sure.
but for a Western. This movie also starred, no. I was going to say that it brought up Bing Crosby. It doesn't bring Bing Crosby. This film has Sammy Davis Jr. unfortunately cast in the Sam Jaffe role. So he's not Gunga Din because this is a Western. He plays an Indian.
Sammy Davis Jr. plays an Indian.
Yes.
Have I never seen this film? Because this sounds like the most bizarre shit ever.
It is bizarre. It is horrible. It is. I can't stand this movie. One, I can't stand Peter Lawford.
Right, of course.
And I can't stand Peter Lawford because Peter Lawford, of all the people in the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra is Frank Sinatra, Dean is Dean. Sammy, unfortunately, is trying to keep up with Sam and Dean, but he's more talented than all of them.
Sure.
Joey Bishop, nobody likes Joey Bishop, but he's just a comedian. They just keep him around. Nobody likes Joey Bishop.
That could be the name of his memoir. Nobody likes Joey Bishop.
Nobody, here's a short story about how big of a dick Joey Bishop was.
Len is in his bag. Go on, Len.
You know Joey Bishop.
Talk,
you know that Joey Bishop used to have his own TV show.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s, right? So one time they wrote a story for the show where Joey had a long lost twin brother comes and stays with him.
Okay.
Right? And and Joey was going to play the twin.
Of course,
right? Joey Bishop went to the writers, lie to you not, after dress rehearsal, mad. Why was he mad, Vincent?
I don't know. This is so exciting, though.
Because the twin brother got all the funny lines. The twin brother that he was playing got all the funny lines.
Better lines than Joey.
Bishop.
Yeah.
And he said, rewrite the script. And they were like, okay.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bishop. Hey, man, your name is on the placard. They're not going to bring in Daphne Maxwell Reid to replace us.
Joey Bishop. Anyway.
So Sergeant's 3 is a...
Yeah. It's in the Sergeant's 3, Mike, Chip, and Larry, Frank, Dean, and Peter Lawford are determined to prevent Larry from carrying out his decision to leave the army at the end of his current hitch and marry the beautiful Amelia Parent. One night, the three friends befriend a trumpet-playing former slave.
Oh, no.
Jonah Williams.
Okay.
Sammy Davis.
That would be Sammy. I assume that was Sammy's role.
Who, of course, dreams of someday becoming a trooper.
Hey, I mean, sure.
Yeah, this is a horrible.
Okay.
Horrible movie.
Yeah, them some tough movies. I know. I bet I was like, he better not have Ricky Tikki Tavi on there, and you didn't.
No, the cartoon.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
You damn right. You love Ricky Tikki Tavi.
I love Ricky Tikki Tavi.
That's right.
And I like the Jungle Book.
All right, but I was like, I was sitting there like,
when's the last time you seen Ricky Tikki Tavi?
Maybe a year and a half ago.
Oh, you showed it to Adam?
No.
You watched it for yourself?
Yes. I love Ricky Tikki Tavi. Ricky Tikki Tavi don't play with them damn snakes.
So now how come you can love Ricky Tikki Tavi, but you made fun of me? This is between me and Vincent, ladies and gentlemen. You made fun of me because I was rewatching Winnie the Pooh.
Because Ricky Tikki Tavi is trying to save the little white boy from getting bitten by them evil ass snakes. So the whole thing is Ricky Tikki Tavi fighting snakes.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Okay. Winnie the Pooh
is just a bear that don't have no pants on who keeps putting his arm in honey.
But he's making friends. He has friends in the 100-acre woods.
Right.
And they're learning how to live together and be friends.
It's a giant cobra that says, I am death. And Ricky Tikki Tavi is like, not on my watch.
There's a donkey that has a tail pinned to the back. And he's sad. And yet, in one episode, they wonder why he's so sad because he's sitting up on the hill and they can only see the back of him. And when they finally realize to just go up there and like, Eeyore, why are you so sad? Eeyore says, I'm not sad. I'm just waiting. Waiting for what, Eeyore? Waiting for that. And the rain passes and it's the rainbow. And they all see the rainbow and the show goes off.
Ricky Tikki Tavi would kill every one of those characters. And then be Ricky Tikki Tavi's would. And Christopher Robin would go, I'm so glad you're here, Ricky Tikki Tavi, because those animals were useless.
He would not. He would not. Winnie the Pooh would befriend Ricky Tikki Tavi, and we would realize, oh dear, you have an anger streak. How about some honey?
Ricky Tikki Tavi don't have no friends.
Honey. He'd smear some honey on his face.
All Ricky Tikki Tavi
put some
has.
honey on your face.
Oh, okay, can we move on? Like I said, I just had to make sure it wasn't no Ricky Tikki Tavi disrespect.
Then no disrespect for Winnie the Pooh.
And that was the top 5?
That was the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's time for the Game of Kings.
The Game of Kings.
6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin.
Surprise what a person can do with just a sense of touch and a sense
You want to hear the
of
theme song?
No, I don't.
Dylan, do you want to hear the theme song? You want to hear the theme song of Winnie the Pooh? I can't do it now. 6 Degrees of D'Urville Martin, ladies and gentlemen, where Vincent has 6 films or less to connect D'Urville Martin to 2 actors that I give him.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping it in theme that has nothing to do with the film that we're reviewing.
Okay.
The film that we were going to review starred John Travolta.
Yes.
Who is an Italian actor, an actor of Italian.
Right. Italian-American actor. Yes.
So these are 2 other actors.
Okay.
Who, believe it or not, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Are unbeknownst to many. Have Italian descent.
Maybe Adam Sandler could make like a version of an Italian song. Did the Jewish song.
Perhaps. All right.
Who we got? Italian actors that we don't know are Italian.
Right.
Okay.
In 6 movies or less, Vincent, connect D'Urville Martin to Vince Vaughn.
I mean, I think if I had to guess, I would have said he was Italian. But Vince Vaughn, I think usually I get to Vince Vaughn through what's her name? From I would because we've talked about the film he made with what's her name from Friends. Let's see how.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, probably a quick way to Vince Vaughn because I kind of do old school. I feel like we talk about Will Ferrell.
Yeah, you're somebody else besides Will Ferrell.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's see if I can do this. I don't think I'll run out. Okay. D'Urville Martin is in Sheba Baby with Pam Grier. Pam Grier is in Hitman with Bernie Casey. You ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Bernie Casey is in The Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie.
Okay.
David Bowie is in Zoolander with Ben
Stiller.
And then Ben Stiller is in Dodgeball.
Okay.
With Vince Vaughn.
Very good.
The Man Who Fell to Earth, baby.
Nice one, Vincent.
Did you ever watch it? I've been telling you for years to watch The Man
The
Who Fell to
original,
Earth.
I have not
You
watched.
still have
the
not
original.
watched The Man Who Fell to Earth.
I have not watched the original.
You got to watch it, man. Did you finish the series?
I did not finish the series.
You got to finish the series, Len. This
Okay.
is good stuff.
Okay.
And The Man Who Fell to Earth, like, it's a perfect season of Afrofuturism. Beginning, middle, and end.
I will watch it. I just haven't gotten around to watching it.
All right.
I will watch it. Very good, Vincent.
All right. Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
Uh-huh.
All right. Now, this one may be a little harder.
Okay.
In 6 films or less,
Okay.
connect D'Urville Martin
Mm-hmm.
to that man who is also of Italian descent.
Yeah.
Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah. Actually, that's going to be super easy. Also, I knew he was Italian because I believe he's Francis Ford Coppola's nephew or something.
Correct.
Like, I know he's in the Coppola family.
Yes.
Yeah. And then he's, you know, because he's in that Wes Anderson
Mm-hmm.
camp. So, you know, you always can get to him, but I will get to him. And I really like him, although it's going to sound like I don't, because I'm about to say this is my favorite film that he's in. And it's his first film because D'Urville Martin is in Dolomite with Rudy Ray Moore. Rudy Ray Moore is in Penitentiary 2 with Ernie Hudson. Ernie Hudson, as we just talked about last week, was in Ghostbusters with Bill Murray. And Bill Murray is in Rushmore
Very
with
good.
Jason Schwartzman, which is my favorite Jason Schwartzman movie.
That is your favorite Jason Schwartzman movie where he is the lead. It is not your favorite Jason. Your favorite Jason Schwartzman.
Wow. Do I like Rushmore more than Beyond the Spider-Verse? And the answer is no. But I guess I hadn't really thought about that till this exact second.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually was thinking about Sing 2, but okay.
You were thinking about Sing 2. You were thinking about Sing 2. I don't like Sing 2 better than Rushmore.
Very good, Vincent.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, you've connected those dots. Well done.
Yeah, now I want to go watch Rushmore. Have you seen Rushmore?
It's been a minute, but I enjoyed it.
Love Rushmore.
I did enjoy it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to our review of Flashdance, we want to give all of you who are watching us out there live on YouTube, as we are streaming from YUNKJunk, some exciting news. Vincent and I will no longer be in this studio after this week.
Gasp.
I know. Because next week, we will be in the new home of YUNKJunk, moving down the street to a bigger studio, fancier vibe. It's going to be all new and pristine and glorious. And just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, the favorite nation status that the Micheaux Mission has in the world of YUNKJunk, they're actually making the move next week, but they only actually moving our studio next week because they said, oh, we got to have the Micheaux Mission on regular time. So we got to get them in their space first.
See, what
before
you all
everybody else
don't know is that the YUNKJunk people sound like 70s TV pimps when they talk.
That's exactly, yeah. My
It's
man
quite
Terry.
disconcerting.
And my man, especially Terry, because he's a big, beefy white boy. But this is exactly how he talk, dog.
Right.
He'd be like, yo, man, we got to get some show
He
mission in
sounds
there
exactly
first.
like if you close
Right
your eyes,
there.
it's like he's sitting right
So
there.
as soon as they shut that boy down, you break that stuff down, Dylan.
He wants his
Bring it downstairs. You take that down the
Just-
street, hook this joint up.
yeah, he wants
Know what I'm
his
saying?
money folded, not rolled.
That's exactly what he do, Terry. But I see you, Terry, because you know where the butter.
Okay.
What's up, bruh?
All right, come on back.
Next week,
Come on back to
show mission, new house, YUNKJunk.
Yeah.
What?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You're not having a stroke, are you?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm all day, baby.
Making sure.
All day right here.
Smell like burnt popcorn. Does anybody else smell burnt popcorn? Just making sure.
Now that you mention it.
See? Oh, Lord. Somebody get him a hard candy.
Let's get into our review of Flashdance.
Right. Ready?
Hold on one second.
All right.
All right, I'm ready.
Flashdance is a 1983 romantic drama dance film.
We're in all the bases.
Starring Jennifer Beals as a passionate young dancer who aspires to become a professional ballerina, alongside Micheaux Mission, who plays her boyfriend and the owner of the steel mill where she works by day. In that hub of ballet, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Directed by Adrian Lynn with a screenplay by Tom Headley. This 1983 film, which is yet another film in which we will discuss what does and perhaps does not make a black film, was the choice of Lynn Webb. Lynn Webb, what is your feeling about Flashdance?
Well, I have so many feelings about Flashdance.
Do you feel music now?
I don't feel music.
Are you going to take your passion and make it happen?
I don't know. I'm keeping my passion right here.
When I was a kid, I thought the lyrics were "Take your pants down and make it happen."
No, you didn't.
Swear to God. Swear to God. I thought the lyric was "Take your pants down and make it happen." Swear to God.
You were a little boy. You were a little boy. No, because I knew exactly what it was about. Yeah, well, we're talking about this movie in the scope of, is it a black film? And we'll touch on whether that question. But let's talk about the film itself.
Absolutely.
Flashdance, written by Thomas Hadley and Joe Esterhaus. Remember those names, especially Joe Esterhaus. Directed by Adrian Lynn. Remember that name.
Okay.
And remember the time in which this movie is made. It's made in 1983, and 83 is the time of Let's Get Physical.
Yeah.
Olivia Newton-John's big hit from 1981 to 1982. Jane Fonda is big on the exercise circuit. People are exercising left and right, and people have on their leg warmers. And dancing is becoming like this craze, this exercise craze.
Sure.
And at the same time that you have all of this going on, you also have the rise of music videos.
Well, it's percolating.
And it's percolating at the same time. And with the rise of music video and the rise of any type of visual breakthrough, it almost always starts centering around, interesting enough, women and their bodies.
Sure.
And their bodies just being, and finding ways to just really accentuate their bodies as much as you can. And into that enters Joe Esterhaus, the writer, and Adrian Lynn, the director, who, for those who don't, the name may be not familiar to you, Adrian Lin is famous for this type of film.
Okay.
For these highly stylized, you know, some overtly, some loosely sexual innuendo films.
What else has he made besides this?
He's made Flashdance. He's made 9.5 Weeks. He made Fatal Attraction, Indecent Proposal, remade Lolita.
Yeah.
Which and Unfaithful. And Joe Esterhaus, the writer of this, is famous for writing films that are set in this world, this world of not so much the dancing world, but the world of women performing for the pleasure of men. He writes Flashdance. He more famously writes Showgirls.
Okay.
Which is set in the world of strippers, and it's a cult film, to say the least. But Flashdance is where it all begins. And at its heart, Flashdance, for the most part, is an innocent enough story. Young girl who seemingly doesn't have any parents. We don't hear anything that happened to her parents.
No.
We don't know what happened to her parents. She seems to have taken up residence in a warehouse. Works at a steel mill, just turning on machines. We don't see exactly what she's doing.
No, she's welding.
Well, she's welding, but we're not given any. Okay, she's a welder.
Yeah, I think it's important to note she has an actual skill.
Well, okay, she has a job.
When's the last time you welded something? Okay. Let me answer for you. Never.
Okay, but is welding necessarily a skill or something that you can be taught?
Yeah, no. I mean, anything is anything you can be taught.
So she has a job.
But my point is, she is welding.
Okay,
this is not something that people just
she's welding.
Show up and.
Okay, she's welding.
Okay, all right.
She doesn't have any parents.
All right.
She took occupation of a warehouse.
Yeah,
she's a welder.
She's a welder.
She dances at night. And dances, not dancing in 2023 as we've known dance, like quote unquote, oh, she dancing. Like, no, she dances.
Yes, she
She literally just, for the most part, dances. Or she maybe slightly scantily clad, okay. But she's dancing. She's not a stripper.
No.
She's dancing at a bar called Malby's in this blue-collar town of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Malby's, which is a blue-collar bar.
Yeah.
We're meant to believe.
Absolutely.
We're meant to believe that this is pretty much a bar where they make burgers and they have this huge dance stage.
Yes, they do.
Where a host of women, at least 10 women, perform these elaborate dance routines with strobe lights, costuming.
It's like Moulin Rouge.
It's Moulin Rouge in Pittsburgh. Circa 1983.
1983. Yes, absolutely.
What world have we stepped into? That the welders can't wait to break time so they can go to Malby's and sit and watch the women dance.
Right. Put on, like you said, put on these elaborate productions.
Put on these elaborate productions that, I mean, and ladies and gentlemen, these are elaborate productions. There is a woman that dresses in a kabuki mask and a suit.
Kabuki business lady who likes television.
Yes. And has like strobe lights all over the place. There's a woman that has a baseball mask and she's beating on a black brick wall and doing backflips. And into this world, we have young 18-year-old Jennifer Beals.
Alex.
Who? No parents. occupies an entire warehouse, not just a floor in the warehouse. The entire warehouse is her house.
That's what she says.
This is where I live.
This is where I live.
This is me. Dances at night.
Mm-hmm.
18-year-old, we're led to believe, if not the youngest, one of the youngest of the women, but she's the voice of reason for everybody.
Yeah.
And she has dreams of becoming a ballet star.
Right. Ballerina. Sure. Want to be a ballerina.
She has a mentor, an old elderly lady named Hannah. Miss Hannah.
Hannah.
Who was at one time a ballerina.
Yes.
And who believes that she can make it. Now, who is Miss Hannah to young Alex?
We don't know.
Some old lady.
She's just an old white lady.
She just go walk up in the old white lady house.
And she takes her to the ballet periodically.
Periodically, she goes about. That's what we know.
Yeah.
That's what we know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But this young 18-year-old in Pittsburgh is so captivating that 40-year-old, to be fair, 36-year-old Michael Norrie returned to his hometown after a bitter divorce and taking over ownership of the steel mill.
Yeah. Ownership of the steel mill. That's right.
Walks in and sees young Alex do her famous flash dance.
Yes.
And her flash dance is her dancing to the beat of the night.
Mm-hmm. She's a maniac.
She's a maniac on the floor, ladies and gentlemen, and then straddles herself on a chair, yanks a chain, and is splashed.
Yes.
Down with water, doused.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Drenched.
Yeah.
In the wetness of all these men's desire.
Yeah. Now, is it like just is it like a wet t-shirt contest situation happening? Or is she wearing like an actual? She's wearing like a bathing suit.
It's a bathing suit.
A dress. Like it's not even a wet t-shirt.
Not even a wet t-shirt. Just
pour some water on me.
Just pour some water on me.
Right. That's not in the soundtrack, but it could have been.
It should have been.
Yeah.
And mind you, these men are watching the dance. They're not giving them any money.
Well, it's not a strip club.
It's not a strip club. Okay, but look, even a drag show is not a strip club.
No.
But they pass the hat.
Well, look.
There's no hat passing.
Look, I don't know what's the name of the place?
Malby's.
I don't know the economics of Malby's.
We don't know the economics, but we know the demographic. It's all the welders.
Right, it's 50-year-old.
It's 50-year-old welders.
Worker dudes.
Just sitting there watching all these.
It's like Bob Hoskins.
A young Robert Wall is in there. He's like,
Right. It's like
it's Arliss
like
all of a sudden.
Russell at the end of the Thing.
It's like it might as well be the people from the Thing.
Yeah.
If they came to Pittsburgh, they would go to Malby's.
Right.
That's who was in Malby's.
Right. I sure do like this modern dance production, which is a metaphor of late era capitalism and the way that multimedia goes into our brains, and we are all slaves to it. And the use of kabuki makeup is a symbol of how Japanese products have taken over the American economy.
Yeah, the Industrial Revolution was a bitch.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense. No sense. But now young Michael Norrie, him of the curly afro.
Curly afro.
Is taken in by Alex.
Yo, yeah.
Oh, he can't get enough of Alex. Can't get enough of her. So much so that he's talking to his young guy there. It's like, man, who's she? And dude says, you don't know who that is? And then to show young Michael Nouri that Alex is actually one of his workers at the steel mill, he doesn't tell him, oh, she works at the steel mill. No, he proceeds to tell him her whole social security number.
Sure.
That's 171553301.
Yeah.
You should know she worked for you.
Yeah, that is an actual line from an actual script. From
He's like, that's her phone number. That's her social security number.
Which I just happen to have memorized. And this is not a detail of the plot that will be commented nor followed up on at all.
Like, whoa.
Does he know her social security number?
Because it is a bar of sketchy dudes. That's why, including 36-year-old Michael Nouri, who was getting the vapors off of 18-year-old Jennifer Beals.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude. Now, yes, it was a different time, 1983.
People ate veal.
I recognize that. I do recognize. And you know why I recognize that? Is because watching this today reminded me of one of my favorite shows of all time, Hill Street Blues.
Sure.
But in doing a rewatch of Hill Street Blues over the pandemic, I realized there was a storyline that was extremely icky in that show that everybody totally glossed over because it was the times. And that was this older dude, older desk sergeant, and I mean older, he was like in his 50s, who was romancing, breaking up, getting back with, and marrying a 15-year-old.
Yikes.
Whose parents were with it. They were at the wedding. Everybody, it's never, ever commented on about how old she is.
Right.
Ever. It's celebrated in it.
Look, man.
It was a different time.
1983.
1983. That's all I can say.
Right.
So we have to dispel belief.
Sure.
From the top.
Sure.
So in watching this movie, I'm like, okay, well, it's a little romance. And it's a movie that really doesn't even care about the story. No. This story it's the bare bones upon which these music video interludes can be cut in, where they can do close-ups of everybody's Jennifer Beals' body, the other dancer's body, or
her body doubles,
or her multiple body doubles bodies.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that in a second. And that's really what this movie is about.
Sure.
And if you were a dancer or an aspiring dancer at this time, this is a movie that you rallied around. This is a movie that spoke to you.
Absolutely.
You know, maybe not as much as, say, movies such as like Fame at the time, but it still did speak to you. It spoke to, you know, what...
Look, follow your dreams.
What you could do. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And it is really about, at the end of the day, it's a Rocky story. You know, she's the little trepidations about trying out to become a ballerina. Is she going to go for it?
Of course.
Of course she is. Is she going to make it?
Of course.
Of course she is. Are there going to be she's going to deal with a little bit of setbacks? Very little, but yes.
Yeah.
And then and by little, I mean she gets with Michael Nouri, then she thinks that he's cheating on her, finds out he's not cheating on her. So she gets back with him. He does her a favor. She doesn't like it, but then eats the crow, accepts the favor, and it's a happy ending. That's basically what happens in this movie.
Sure.
In between, she has a best friend that wants to be an ice skater whose father doesn't really want her to be an ice skater, but he sees her skating and he comes around to, oh my God, she's so talented, she's so beautiful, and he roots for his daughter. There's a comedian that wants to be a comedian who should not be a comedian. He should stay to flipping burgers, but he wants to be a comedian. He's going for his dream. He's going out to California.
Sure.
God bless him. There's a guy who runs a strip club who wants to get Alex in his strip club. Manhandles her a little bit, but ultimately Michael Nouri comes to the rescue, and that plot quickly peters out. It doesn't go anywhere. The writers and the directors don't have any care about any story. And like I said, it's all just something to hang over.
It's not this movie.
It's all about the music and the images. And Adrian Lin, as a director, is a man that's about images. And he does know how to point a camera in a certain way and accentuate not only just a woman's body, but he knows how to set a scene. There are some scenes that are very evocative, that, you know, some of the montages of Jennifer Beals and Michael Nouri, the characters, they fall in love. You know, they're cute enough. They're well orchestrated, but it's at the end of the day, this is a movie that I just really couldn't understand, and it's all about Jennifer Beals. This is
Yes,
her. This
100%.
is her coming out party.
Yeah,
She's
100%.
Alex is 18 years old, and Jennifer Beal is also 18 years old. Jennifer Beal was a student at Yale who did some modeling, who was talked into going to an audition, and lo and behold, she got the role.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's more or less what happened. And she took on a role, and for that, she's not bad. She's an 18-year-old girl. You know what I mean? I'm not going to knock her. She comes across as an 18-year-old woman. Jennifer Beal, let's, you know, bury the lead, is a beautiful woman.
Oh, yeah.
So you can completely see why someone would be attracted to her.
Absolutely.
So that tracks. She's likable enough in the film, but the film doesn't just wants to get her from set piece to set piece to set piece.
Sure.
And it has the trappings of giving her a character. You know, she's a dancer, she's a welder. You're not given any idea of how did she get the welding job? Why does she weld? How did she get to Pittsburgh? Where are her parents? Who does she live with? How did she become in this warehouse? Why is she a dancer? Why is she scared about going out to become a ballerina? Who is Hannah? How did she meet Hannah? Why is she the voice of reason? Grunt is her dog. Where'd she get a dog or Grunt?
So many questions,
and they're never answered.
Character.
The movie does not care at all about her. It just wants to get her from one set piece to another set piece. It wants to show her, you know, taking off her bra underneath her sweatshirt, which is a famous scene.
Yeah.
They want to show her at dinner, taking off her dinner jacket, showing that she just has on her collar, bow tie, and the cuffs. Famous scene. They want to show the Flashdance,
of course,
which is a famous scene. They want to show her dancing at the audition, which is a famous scene. However, those last two famous scenes, that's not Jennifer Beals, ladies and gentlemen, because Jennifer Beals, famously, as she admits, is not a dancer.
No.
She's an actress. She's not a dancer. So those scenes are all with a body double. Not one, not two. 3 body doubles. There's a body double that does the dancing.
Yes.
There's a body double that does the backflips. And then there's a body double who we all know and love here on the Micheaux Mission, by the name of Crazy Legs.
Yes, sir.
That's right, Crazy Legs of the Rocksteady crew.
Yeah.
That's right, your man, Crazy Legs of the Rocksteady crew, who plays Alex when she break dances at the audition. That is Crazy Legs in a wig and a tutu doing the break dancing.
Yeah. And you can tell because it's like at least the other two stunt doubles
are women.
But like when you see her doing the backspin, he actually has biceps.
Yes.
Like it is clearly a man.
Yes.
In a leotard spinning on his back.
Either that or Alex is turning into She-Hulk as she backspins. As she backspins. Because while the other body doubles are women, they are decidedly more chiseled than Jennifer Beals.
Yeah, because they're dancers.
And some might say taller than Jennifer Beals. All of a sudden,
because they're dancers.
She's got a little height on her. It's very interesting. And famously, at the time, none of the body doubles are credited. In the movie.
No.
Because they did not want to blow the illusion.
Sure.
That Jennifer Beals was not doing this actual dancing.
Sure.
And a lot of people, they were there for the hype, so it is whatever. So the movie is what it doesn't age well, but it still is very much what it is.
Sure.
But why it is here on the Micheaux Mission tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is because the question is this a black film? And it all begins and ends with Jennifer Beals.
Okay.
As you pointed out, is a woman of biracial descent.
Right.
An African-American father.
Yes.
And I believe an Irish Catholic mother.
Yeah, white.
Right. Hey, white. White.
Always kills me. Like all of a sudden it's 23andMe when we want to talk about the white parent. Well, my father's African American. My mother is of Scottish, Irish, Nordic, and Finlandish extraction. You mean white?
Yes. White.
Yes.
So which means that Jennifer Beals is biracial.
Is biracial.
Or some might say black.
Well, depending on, where you sit in that, defining yourself and how that works.
I hear you. But I think the decision was made for us because in 1983, for her performance in Flashdance, she is awarded the NAACP award for Best Actress in a Film.
Sure. Now, but did she go out for that or because,
yes, they gave it to her.
There's a lot of us, we always just want to recruit people. And Jennifer Beals famously here, and we've talked about this on the show, plays my favorite Jennifer Beals role.
Devil in the Blue Dress.
A black woman, now I'm all paranoid. Well, shit, she's a black woman who's passing for white.
Yes.
In Devil in a Blue Dress.
Yes.
So,
Well, I think, but to your point, Jennifer Beals, who at 18 years old, you got to imagine, had zero agency in this movie.
Right.
So she is not making a call at all. And as you stated when we were, introducing the film, she is in a role that is not coded black at all.
No.
Her race has absolutely nothing to do with her performance in this film. She could just as easily be Olivia Newton-John in this film. So the question then becomes, though, is it a black film if the lead is someone who biracial? The NAACP seems to want to put it in that in that bag, for whatever reason.
Sure.
For the Micheaux Mission, does it fit that criteria? What have you to say of Flashdance?
I mean, it's much like you. It's a bananas film. I think that the thing about the direction and the speed of the direction is that it moves so fast because it doesn't want you to really think about it.
Yeah.
Because if you think about this film for longer than 15 seconds, it doesn't make a lick of sense.
Nope.
As we've talked about this Alex character, and the reason I kind of wanted to underline this, like, you don't just become a welder. Like, this is an actual skilled profession.
True.
She
It's a
is
union, yeah.
18 years old. When the hell did she learn how to become a welder? Like, what we know about her, she's from Altoona.
Yes.
This is all from the movie. She's from Altoona. She is 18 years old. She is a welder at this, because, you know, the other thing is, you know, when we talked about the character says to Michael Nouri, oh, you don't know who she is. And it's like, well, why don't you know who she, like, you have a crew of 30 dudes, 29 of them are 50-year-old men. And then there's the one 18-year-old girl.
Yeah.
You've never noticed the 18-year-old girl up there with the welding tools?
Well, at least in the movie's defense, he just got back.
He just got there. And I guess that never came up when they said, hey, what's going on at the factory? It's like, well, you know, it's 29. We got 29 50-year-old dudes who've been welding for 25 years. And, you know, we've got master welders and journeyman welders.
An apprentice.
And so got a couple of apprentices. Oh, and there's also an 18-year-old who's welding. She's got this warehouse. She has these aspirations to be a ballerina. She has never taken any dance lessons.
No.
Self-taught. As you mentioned, she has this relationship with this woman, Hannah. It's never explained what this relationship is. There's this weird bar that she dances at. All of it.
It's not weird. It's called Mawbees.
Much like you, though, all jokes aside, it does move. Mm-hmm. And I do think, you know, we talked about its connection to MTV. This is a film that famously kind of was part of the organic rise of music videos. And you very, like, you know, particularly around a song like Maniac, where it's her working out. Mm-hmm. And the whole sequence of the film is basically a music video.
Yep.
You talked about the final scene where she actually auditions and, you know, Irene Cara's famous What a Feeling.
Yeah.
It's a great scene. And it's a scene that has pretty much become the stock way that you show someone kind of going out for a role, kind of auditioning. Like, you know, it's got the desk with this kind of old, stodgy, kind of buttoned up white people. And then you come in and she does it. And it's a great scene.
It's well shot.
It's well shot.
You get to appreciate the full routine.
You absolutely do. Much like you, I think you 100% understand how Jennifer Beals wins this role out over other people that went out for it, including a young Demi Moore. Mm-hmm. She's a beautiful young girl. She really is. I think she has presence even at 18. Like you mentioned, her taking off that bra through her sweatshirt is such a sexy little moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, she plays it well.
Because she doesn't play it for sex.
She doesn't play it for sex. It's actually a nice scene because you see she's playing as a young person who doesn't actually get necessarily what she's doing. And Michael Nouri, who is, again, in his mid-30s, is trying to kind of play it off. Like, that's actually my favorite little scene in the movie between them.
Yeah, that's the only one where there's a little bit of chemistry.
A little bit of chemistry. So, you know, I like Jennifer Beals. As far as it being a black movie, you are 100% right that there's nothing about this film that this character is coded as black. But I would also argue the film has her or creates this character in a way. She's not coded as white. Like, you listen to her talking. There are no relatives. Because again, she's not related to Hannah. Or if she is related to Hannah, they don't talk about
No, Hannah is her mentor.
her mentor. You don't see any of her family.
Nope, no pictures, nothing.
There are no pictures. There is nothing that says, I am white or I am black. And you have to think that part of this is deliberate because of who Jennifer Beals is. Because she is, when she is on the screen with these other white people, ambiguous. Like, I think you look at her, and I'm thinking particularly of the scenes where she's with her, with the other dancers. Like you mentioned, she has a best friend who frankly has a better story than she does.
Yeah, Jeannie.
Jeannie is actually the one with the story.
Wants to be the skater.
But she's a little darker than Jeannie. You know, it's like, well, is she Italian? Is she Hispanic? Is she like, what is it? She's a little darker. You know, as you mentioned, Michael Nori has a little bit of that going on as well.
Yeah, he's got some Moors in his family.
Right. So that it is ambiguous. And then, as we said, just biologically, she is biracial. But then you have to think, how does this work in this film? So you take her out and you put in someone like Rashida Jones, also biracial. Is it a black movie with Rashida Jones?
If we're saying it's a black movie with Jennifer Beals,
well,
then
we're not necessarily saying that, because I think a lot of times, you know, genotype is a mess because we all are just genetically, but you know, we're talking phenotype. This is a visual medium, so we judge this by how it looks. You and I have talked before, you know, these Denzel Washington movies, these Will Smith movies, these movies, they're the only black people in the movie, but they're these Eddie Murphy movies, you know, but he's the lead. Everything is revolving around him. It's a black movie. But these are people who are unambiguously black. So now you got somebody like Jennifer Beals in this movie we're talking about tonight. We bring in Rashida Jones. Also, I would argue is a bit ambiguous. But you know more about her background because her father is famous. You know, it's Quincy Jones. Okay, so now we take her out. Now we put in Tracy Ellis Ross.
Okay.
Is it now is it getting blacker? Or is it the same level of black?
It's probably the same level as Rashida.
See, okay, all right, let's take Tracy Ellis Ross out.
Okay.
And I put in Halle Berry.
It's black.
Is black.
Black.
But she's a biracial as well.
Yeah, but it's blacker.
But now but you see what
I see what you're saying.
You know, is this a matter of, do we define these films by phenotype? Like, they look what we would say is black. Unless there's something in the script, you know, oftentimes the way they signal these things is that they'll have a parent show up. And it'll be like, you know, Brock Peters will show up and say, hey, baby girl, let's go get some
waffles,
some sweet potato pie, which is something that we have because of our African-American heritage. And then you say, oh, okay. But a film like this,
it doesn't give you that.
Right.
It doesn't give you.
Right.
Okay, but there are films by, like you said, Denzel, Will Smith. I'm thinking of what's the one where he's in the Bone Collector? Is that the one when Denzel's in it's laid up? That doesn't have to be Denzel, but you would still say that that's a black film because it's Denzel in the lead.
Right.
So I think that I would still consider this a black film. Now, does the world at large consider it a black film? Probably not. But I would consider it a black film.
Now, what if, and I don't know this because, as you know, just a programming note, as y'all know, this was a last minute substitution. So we didn't have time to do the usual kind of look up things. And I've not seen any Jennifer Beals interviews or anything. I don't know. But for the sake of argument, what if Jennifer Beals and the way that she claims her identity, like some biracial people do, say, I don't see myself as black. I am biracial. I am multiracial. I am however people define themselves, which frankly, I think people should be able to define themselves the way they want to define themselves. If Jennifer Beals, again, I don't know, for the sake of argument, were to say, I am a biracial woman.
Which I do think I've read interviews that is more along the line.
Okay, well, I don't know. But if she says that, would you still call this a black film?
Yeah.
Okay.
She can, that's fine. That's fine. I would still call it a black film.
So you're in the business of recruiting people.
I guess so.
Okay. All right.
I want Jennifer Beals on our team. And I think she's more on our team.
Hey, man, look, like I said.
She's more on our side.
Look, hey.
Vin Diesel's on that side.
Look.
I think she's on our side.
I mean, I think these are all, again, we're now.
I think that's the difference. There you go. There you go.
What?
Vin Diesel. A Vin Diesel movie.
And Vin Diesel has made a career out of playing these kind of ambiguous sort of, even in the Fast and Furious movies, it's like a hodgepodge of people who are cast
this person's the brother, this person's his mother. Yeah, you don't know what
somehow they got Rita Moreno hooked up into this nonsense. And, so
yeah.
I feel like people should be able to define themselves.
And that's fine. And he defines himself, and I think he more,
right.
As far as I see. And
I am not in the practice of recruiting people. Like, if you ain't black, you ain't black. Fine.
So you would not say that this is a black film?
I don't know if I would. Again, I think like in there, we're out on the border.
Okay.
I think this exact same film with someone like, well, again, Halle Berry. I think Halle Berry is a perfect example.
Halle Berry, and it doesn't make it a black film.
Oh, I think it is a black film of Halle Berry because Halle Berry has always said, I'm a black woman.
Okay, it's because of how
film is a visual medium.
Okay.
And when you see Halle Berry, you very much see a black woman or someone who fits what many of us would see as a black, again, phenotype.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. Okay. But I guess my thing is that I've never looking at Jennifer Beals, I've always saw the ambiguity. I never saw white. I saw
I'm not necessarily saying it's a white film. Like I said, I think that's what's so interesting. Like I said, I don't think she's coded as white.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my mind, that's what makes this film, or part of what makes this film, besides just all the really bizarre shit going on in this film, but kind of makes it more interesting.
Well, you know what?
Than it really set out to be.
It's interesting. There was a review of the film at the time that said, no, I think it was Roger Ebert, who does not like
it.
Who hated the movie.
Famously hated Flashdance.
But I think he said that the problem is that the story behind the movie and Jennifer Beals' own story is more interesting than the story of Alex, the dancer.
Well, again, and I'll take something back. Because quite honestly, I don't think they thought about this script hard enough to make these kind of deliberate decisions.
No, I don't think so at all.
But I do think you have these moments in the film where it's about to make a statement about her past.
Mm-hmm.
And then it swerves and it doesn't. Like there's this exchange between her and Michael Nouri. He basically says, well, why are you here? Like, oh, well, I'm from Altoona. And it's like, okay, well, we'll hear a little bit about her past.
And we don't. Yeah, it just glosses over.
Don't.
Yeah.
This whole bit with Hannah, who is very much set up to be her grandmother. Like everything about this relationship, this is clearly her grandmother. But then it's not.
Right. Well, I'm fine with it not being a grandmother. It's just that we don't really get the connection outside of The ballerina.
And then, you do have the one black character in there.
Yeah, one of the dancers.
Right. One of the dancers is black, who her big thing, and I don't know if you noticed, but like when they first show her in the background in the dressing room, she's eating a banana.
I did notice.
And I said, ooh, I don't know. I feel like somebody should have caught that detail. And then her great line when one of the other girls is complaining about what's going on with her man trouble, she says, I sure am glad I'm not a honky. Well, there's a line of script.
Yeah.
And then
Joe Esterhaus, ladies and gentlemen, the writer of Showgirls.
Right. And I wanted the camera like pan around and see what Alex was going to say. Alex, what are your views? Honky-dom.
She had nothing.
No. So, but I think you brought up like Vin Diesel. I do think there's this kind of fascinating vein of films that it forces you to say, what are your views on this? So.
And this is one of them?
I think this is one of them. I think this is one of them. I think it's, and it's also a fun film though. I enjoy Flashdance. I enjoy Flashdance.
It's harmless.
It's harmless.
That's what I will say. I'm not going to say I enjoyed it, but it was harmless.
It's zippy.
Yeah.
It's definitely zippy. Like I said, the thing keeps moving.
Would you recommend it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure. This is like, if Fame is too much, because I think Fame gets a little heavy.
It started, smelling itself a little bit.
Yeah, like this is lighter than Fame.
Well, yeah.
It's a lot lighter than it's zippy. I think Jennifer Beals, even though she is young, she's very young, and I think she becomes a better actor.
Oh, most
as
certainly.
Time goes on.
Most certainly. Famously,
but she has charisma. You kind of like, you 100% get it.
Mm-hmm. Famously, after this movie, she returns to school.
Yeah.
And finishes school. I think she only does one other movie while she's in school, and she only does that on her summer break.
Is that The Bride?
The Bride.
How'd you feel about The Bride?
I don't remember it.
I liked The Bride.
I don't remember. That's she plays basically the bride.
She plays the Bride of Frankenstein. And Sting plays Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I'd have to see it again.
I used to like The Bride. Now, I don't know if The Bride is that good.
Sometimes movies.
I really enjoyed The Bride.
Yeah. Probably product of his time.
Yeah.
I think I would recommend Flashdance.
Sure.
It's harmless.
Sure.
It's a product of its time.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's not look, it's probably the best thing that Adrian Lynn and Joe Esterhaus. Well, no, it's not the best thing, because I got a soft spot for 9.5 weeks.
You didn't say Basic Instinct. Did you say Basic in that list of movies? Mm-hmm. You don't like Basic Instinct?
No, I do like Basic Instinct. Yeah, okay, yes. But
come on, man. Basic Instinct is an actual movie.
That is a good
Yeah.
All right. But I would say Flashdance.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun. It's harmless.
But you say it's a black movie.
You know what? I say it's a black movie, but to be fair, and for the mission, I hear your argument against it being a black movie. And I also recognize that I honestly don't feel the world at large looks at this and sees a black film.
Sure, not at all.
So I'm fine with it not being considered a black movie. It will be okay.
Look, man.
We'll be all right.
Look.
Jennifer's still with us.
Look.
We got her in the Book of Eli.
Look, I ain't trying to recruit nobody. Like we good. Team Black people is good. We're solid.
We are solid.
We got what do they call it? What is it? A solid bench? What is it?
A strong bench.
We got a strong bench. We're good.
We're good.
People should be able to define themselves the way they want to define themselves.
Amen.
So,
Amen. All right.
I'm black, y'all. And that's a fact, y'all. I'm blickety, blickety, blickety black, y'all.
Before we tell you what we're going to be reviewing next week, ladies and gentlemen, for Black History Month, as we continue our thesis of Is This a Black Film?
Is this a black film?
Invite you to let us hear what is on your mind. Email us at micheauxmission@gmail.com. This MICHEAUXMISSION @gmail.com. Let Vincent and Len know what is on your mind. You can also follow us on all your social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Micheaux Mission. And also go to the Micheaux Mission YouTube page where you can subscribe to the YouTube page, hit the bell so you're notified of when we're go live, when we put up new videos. We just put up our mini review of The Greatest Night in Pop. That just went up. That was a fun mini review. It was a half hour long. That just went up. So please subscribe to the Micheaux Mission on YouTube. And because we're a YouTube channel, we stream right here from YUNKJunk, Philadelphia's premier video podcast palace. If you want to book yourself in one of the studios here at YUNKJunk, email Dylan, our man Dylan, at YUNKJunk.com. That's DYLAN at YUNKJunk.com. It's right there for your spelling pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. And book yourself in one of the fabulous studios here at YUNKJunk. This one is on the move next week. Oh, I can't wait. New chairs. Oh, anyway. The Micheaux Mission is also a proud member of The Podglomerate. ThePodglomerate.com. They make podcasts work. All right. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, we have another big announcement coming your way as we are going to announce the film that we will be screening in the kickoff of the Be Real Micheaux screening series at the Bryn Mawr Film Institute starting on March 20th. Next week, we will announce exactly what film in the running is How Stella Got Its Groove Back or Pariah. The votes are in. We're tabulating the votes. I think we have a winner, but some late ones are coming in, so we're going to check it out. Next week, we'll make that announcement. And as we continue our thesis on Is This a Black Film, we are going to take time to return to 1999. Because that's when this film was made.
Yes.
But this film is about a time from beforehand. It's a Spike Lee joint.
So it seems like it should automatically be black, right?
It just should seem like it.
Why are we in the Hitherlands talking about Spike Lee?
I don't know. Join us next week as we review The Summer of Sam. Next week, here on the Micheaux Mission. Until then, he's Vincent, I'm Len, and in parting, we say,
we'll see you when it's time to meet again.
YUNKJunk!